Hello Internet, Taliesin here, and today we are talking World of Warcraft Legion patch 7.1. The Warcraft DLC that's been dropped quicker than it took Luke Cage to break the whole of Netflix, and then quicker than it took everyone to realise that Luke Cage isn't that great. Because seriously, 7.1 already? I haven't even got the fox mount yet, although I have got Khadgar's head in a bubble, obviously fucking typical. I haven't even maxed out my tailoring, and we all know how important that is. Jesus Christ, Blizz, 7.1 is being launched before I've even had a chance to get totally bored of the game. I haven't played Overwatch in 6 weeks, Blizz. Seriously, why are you ruining my life by giving me stuff to do? This is not what I signed up for. Anyway, stop moaning, because getting shed loads of content at the beginning of an expansion is great news. And like reminding Bill Cosby that it's his round at the bar, personally, I don't see what could possibly go wrong. After all, it's not like Blizz has a recent history of top-loading expansions at the start and then being left with massive content rounds later on, is it? But anyway, whatever happens later, 7.1 has got some pretty significant new content for us to get our teeth into, whether you be a raider, a dungeoner, a pet or mount collector, or if you just like hanging out in Suramar. So join us as we give you the lowdown on World of Warcraft patch 7.1. Oh, and a quick word on spoilers. I am not going to show you any significant plot moments or even boss fights in this video, because I hate that. So if you're watching before 7.1 launches, it's all on the PTR, you can go and see it yourself. If you're watching after it launches, then you can just go and play it yourself, can't you, you lazy bastard. Okay, so without further ado, here are 6 new things in World of Warcraft patch 7.1. Go, 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 go. Okay, let's start with the little things, because all major patches come with little tweaks and alterations that just make life a bit easier, like when you're filling in the expenses section of your tax return. And 7.1 is certainly going to have those. First up, we've got the Blood of Sargeras trader up in Taliesin, which lets you trade all of those lovely bloods you're not using for other consumables, which is good news for anyone who doesn't enjoy paying nearly 500 gold for a single Fel War, even now. I mean, seriously, there's only one person who would ever pay that much for a herb, and that person is Snoop Dogg. He's like the only one. And look, even Snoop has to take other jobs to be able to afford those prices.
You are so money supermarket.
Look what you did, Felwart. Look what you reduced Snoop Lion to. But not only that, 7.1 is going to have the usual round of class balance changes too. Now, Yon has said that he wants to avoid any wild swings in class balance, so expect spec tweaks to be small and regular, being drip-fed across the patch rather than all arriving in one huge clump like Hipster's a new cronut restaurant. This means your Warlock isn't going to suddenly become the most powerful spec in the game. Actually, it already is the most powerful spec in the game. You're just not playing it right. Your Beast Mastery Hunter isn't suddenly going to become overcomplicated. You can still play it effectively on an old NES controller, don't worry Hunters. But Fury Warriors are in for some much needed buffage, with the promise of more redesign later on, which should help to quell those Fury tears. No one likes a crying warrior today, it's pathetic. Another thing that should stop people crying is that those pesky rep grinds for open world quests and the Archway and the Quarter Stars are now account-wide, giving your alts an easier time of things. New mounts, obviously, pet battles, new cooking fire animation, and don't laugh because I love shit like this. And a selection of new fishing bobbers, and honestly, there's not a Fury Warrior on Earth who wouldn't stop crying just for a minute or two for a Pepe fishing bobber, is there? I mean, come on, they're warriors, they've not got hearts of stone, they just take too much damage from rage, you know, you cry too. It's fair to say that the last 2 World of Warcraft expansions have been something of a nostalgia fest, with Warlords of Draenor in places being a shot-for-shot remake of bits of Warcraft 3 and Burning Crusade, unfortunately missing the shot that contained compelling endgame, but you can't have everything, can you? And Legion bringing back old places like Dalaran, and Illidan's convenient resurrection and reinvention. And just so you know though, Illidan, you can be the child of light all you like. I've got a long memory and you've got some serious making up to do, okay, chum? You're like Tim Burton at this point. You fucked up so much, it's going to take something pretty special to get me on side now, okay? But one trip down memory lane that has totally worked in Legion is the utilisation of old world content. Artifact quests and Order Hall campaigns have sent us all over Azeroth, and it's been great fun rediscovering old zones again after years away. 7.1 will continue this trend with its new mythic 5-man dungeon, Karazhan. Karazhan is the 12-boss, 10-man Burning Crusade raid that longtime Warcraft players have a genuine soft spot for, and recently Blizzard has been milking that soft spot for all it's worth. We've already been back to Karazhan in a not annoying at all disco Hearthstone adventure, in the second Harbinger's short, and actually in the Legion pre-launch questline with Khadgar in tow. But please, don't be sick of Karazhan yet, okay? Because there is plenty more to come. The new 7.1 Karazhan is a massive 5-man instance, awarding 860 gear, going up to 875 on the final boss, and it's on a weekly lockout. Blizzard has said they don't want a group to really be able to finish this in one go. This is going to be more of a dungeon that you complete over the course of a few nights, which is why people are essentially calling it a 5-man raid, which sounds pretty fair. Now, if you've ever played through the old Karazhan, which will still be available by the way, then the first half of new Karazhan is going to feel more familiar to you than a new Warcraft Bible video. Very long walks between bosses, hideous amounts of trash, but it has got a whole new opera event and an amazing second half, and a final boss fight that I am not going to tell you anything about at all, because honestly, I played this in PTR and I really wish I hadn't spoiled it for myself. Do not look this shit up, okay? You will thank me for that. But what I can say is that there are some awesome boss fights in this dungeon, like seriously, some of the best of the expansion so far. It's definitely going to be another favourite in the future, and it's great to see a return to the huge, epic 5-man content of old. One thing you won't be surprised to learn is that there's a batch of new world quests coming in 7.1, which is good news, because, you know, I do love squirrels, and I love clicking on them, I really do. I mean, I could click on squirrels all day, don't get me wrong. It's just that there is a massive demon invasion going on, and I am like the top head priest lord in the whole of Azeroth or something, and I just can't help but feel that perhaps my time would be better spent, that's all. Like, you know, fighting demons and stuff. Oh, a squirrel. Like fighting Hellia's invading forces, yeah, that'll do. Hell yeah! Hell yeah. But one of the most intriguing new batches of world quests we've got to look forward to are the Falcasaur's Swarm. Now, there are 4 of these in each of the levelling zones of the Broken Isles, where parts of the islands have been taken over by proper feathered theropod dinosaurs, which will certainly please people I know who for years have been complaining that the raptors in WoW aren't accurate because they're not feathered. Yes, that's right. They complained that in World of Warcraft, the dinosaurs weren't believable. It was the dinosaurs that they decided were unrealistic. Now, the swarms themselves are the standard fill the bar quests, but while they are up, you can get yourself an orphaned Falcasaur pet. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, pet battles. Okay, Taliesin, that's great, but honestly, what the fuck do you think I am? I would rather eat my own face than pet battle in WoW. And yes, to be honest, I agree with you. But look, this Falcasaur has quests when you summon it that, as well as a bit of pet battling, send you all over the world on a reasonably long quest line, into dungeons and raids, and you know you love it when single-player quest lines send you into dungeons and raids, don't you? Yeah, you do. And ends up with... well, actually, we don't know yet because it didn't finish on the PTR, but surely, there's a brand spanking new mount to be had at the end of this. Surely! I mean, I pet battled for this. Surely! Give me the mount! God, I hope so. Please don't hate me if I'm wrong. Okay, so the pet battling didn't take your fancy. Well, how about a brand new raid? Yes, I know, Emerald Nightmare has only been out for 5 weeks, and you still haven't worked out what Discipline Priest is for. But come on, let's fuck Malfurion right off and go to Helheim for the Trial of Valor. Now, the Trial of Valor is what we would describe as a mini raid. It does all the things that a normal raid does, but less of it. Like how Joey Salads is like a normal human being, but with much less empathy or soul or feelings or fucking humanity, you know. This mini raid has 3 bosses, which are anything but. Starting off with having to prove yourself to Odin himself, because apparently recovering 3 artifact weapons and saving the Halls of Valor and Odin wasn't enough. And anyway, Odin is not mini, he's fucking massive, look. And we'll be getting revenge on Guam for beating us up in the Helheim questline, and then finishing up with Helya herself, in a fight that promises to feature more tentacles than an old god hentai night special. And that's it, minimal trash, straight up to the point, in your face boss battles that drop gear 5 item levels higher than you'll find in the Emerald Nightmare. It's not a new tier, it's essentially a few fights chucked in between proper raids just for the hell yeah of it. And don't worry if you've not finished up with Emerald Nightmare yet, because the Trial of Valor isn't going to open until 2 weeks after 7.1 launches, which is November the 8th or 9th, depending on which side of the IRL world you live on. So you still have a couple of resets to get Xavius down if you haven't already. Exorcist did it in 2 hours, just saying. I mean, presumably they'll mop up Trial of Valor in about 10 minutes while you're making a cup of tea or something. They've probably beaten it already as I've been talking to you right now. Fuck Exorcist show-offs. And there's a new world event as well, the Return to Alkaz Isle, which will once again see Blizzard going back to the old world and using it for new content. And I've got to say, I love revisiting all these old favourites again in Legion. Playing Warcraft at the moment is basically like watching Expendables 2, but a bit less racist. Now, the quest chain that leads us into this new world event wasn't up in the PTR, and this little island in Theramore is now teeming with anti-aircraft guns and massive death-dealing 110 elites, so I couldn't get near it, frankly. Me trying to casually wander around Alkaz trying to get footage for this video was like expecting a delivery from Hermes to actually ever arrive at your house. It just wasn't going to happen. So let's look at what Blizzard has to say about it instead. Get to the bottom of Dr. Weevil's insidious plans on Alkaz Isle. Rewards include the big red ray toy for everyone and mechanical spiders for hunters. This sounds like a short quest chain leading into maybe a scenario type thing, telling a random bit of story with stupid, fun rewards. It doesn't look like it's connected to the grand story of Legion in any way, and that's great. It's just more stuff to do. Really looking forward to seeing how that one plays out. 7.1 is going to bring the continuation and, I guess, conclusion of the story of Suramar, which has been one of the most ambitious, epic, and at times... Oh, shit, hang on, one sec. Okay. And at times, ridiculously annoying pieces of endgame storytelling that World of Warcraft has ever attempted. Oh, wait, hang on. Let me just... Sorry, hang on. As we infiltrate Purpletown as part of the Resistance and score blows against their demonic occupation. And these are people who really need our help, okay? I mean, this is... Oh, for fuck's sake, just... I'm doing a video! Sorry. I mean, anyway, this is a population so suppressed and subservient that you can be literally the first human they've seen in 10,000 years, murder a load of guards in front of them, they don't even bat an eyelid. Look, they don't give a shit. As long as they've got their arc wine, they're okay. That's sick. Love it or hate it. And actually, I have been surprised by how many people do hate Suramar. There is going to be a whole ton more of it in 7.1, as stuff with the Resistance starts getting serious. And this plotline takes us right up to the point where the Nighthold raid is ready to kick off. The way the storyline will be delivered is going to be a bit different in 7.1. New missions will arrive every week for 9 weeks, leading us up to the Nighthold raid, which I know sounds suspiciously like the way Garrison campaign missions work, doesn't it? Sets off more alarm bells than a casual stroll through the lower east side of Suramar, because those Garrison campaigns were disparate, unengaging messes that were impossible to follow and boring to wait for. But you know what? All of Legion's storytelling has been masterful so far, and I'm ready to trust Blizzard on this and wait and see how it works before I have an emergency a good old moan about it later on. Story-wise, I'm not giving anything away here when I say that the Resistance really starts to crank up within the walls of Suramar in 7.1, and we start getting help from more familiar characters from the Horde and Alliance too, which is super cool. And gameplay-wise, well, you can bet it's going to involve a lot of sneaking around, avoiding glowing green eyes. Now, that's just a guess, actually, but I'm pretty confident. I'm just putting that out there. I mean, presumably after we clear the Nighthold and liberate the city, we'll be able to walk around Suramar as much as we like without having to dive into baskets every 5 seconds, which will be amazing. I mean, yeah, Gul'dan is bad and everything, and we totally need to kill him, that's true, but that's what I'm really fighting for at the end of all this. So thanks very much for joining us on our look at 7.1. If you like the video, you can like it if you like, and subscribe. If you subscribe, then I promise we will make more videos. If you didn't like the video, downvote the shit out of it, and remember, my name is Wow Hobbs. No, my name is Taliesin of Taliesin and Evitel. You can join us on Twitter if you fancy, at Taliesin Evitel, and Twitch too if that's your sort of thing. Check out more of our videos on screen now, and thank you very much for hanging out and supporting the channel so much recently. We're having a really good time with you all, but especially you. You're the best. So until next time, team, cheerio.